What we've done here at A Lighter Touch reinforces that we can actually do a lot more with less spray, with more monitoring, and that's probably the way we have to go. We don't want resistance to the chemicals that we've got left. Yeah, I started in 1966 after I left high school, and I've been in the industry since then. 1950 we moved to Pukekohe. Since then we've been producing vegetables. I manage A Lighter Touch here. We've got 4 approximately 1 acre blocks. So we're putting different crops in, different rotations. In the late 70s, early 80s, I think everyone used to a calendar spray, like you've actually sprayed every week, right? Maybe the last 20 years has changed a little bit. People certainly have looked more at the thresholds and that before we actually put on sprays. Certainly I do, and we're heading down the path of probably getting resistance to the chemicals that we've got. Like I say, diamondback moth control. We've only got basically 3 chemicals, and we're getting resistance to one of the main chemicals that we're using. You know, we're not having very effective control. It's been pretty tough, I mean, being a commercial grower, especially vegetables and that. Everyone wants to try and cut their costs, and chemicals is a big part of that. We don't want to spray because the chemicals do cost so much, and if we can knock, say, 50% of our sprays out of our program, you know, that's just more money into the grower's pocket. I think a lot of people don't realise, you know, how many good insects there are out there. I mean, there are insects that can help us control the pests. We just need to build them up so they actually do the work for us. I mean, you can't expect to have workers come and work for you if you don't give them anything to eat and, you know, somewhere to live. With Olivia, with her native plantings and the annual planting, the flowering strips and the cover cropping, we have proven that if you have that kind of system in, it's got a fair chance it will work.
I've been around the industry now for coming up 20 years. Howe was one of the first growers that I dealt with. Just the start really of the softer chemistry coming in and the crop monitoring, and that was really my interest point because I'd come from a glasshouse background where we'd only used IPM indoors. Howe was one of the first to help kind of uptake that at the start there, interested in the monitoring because he already had a bit of a background in it, and then looking at working with the softer chemistry at that point. As we've gone through, Howe's always been very interested in helping, trying out new options, whether they're biocontrols or in terms of what we're doing here on the ALT farm with incorporating the natives and the plants and the natural enemies and things.
I mean, the first lettuce crop that we had, the summer lettuce crop, I mean, we were monitoring that every week. We had classes here, and the aphid levels were going up like that. And I just felt sure, look, we're going to have to spray next week. Then suddenly the numbers started dropping.
We had a cover crop in the field next door. Howe needed to mulch in the cover crop to get the ground ready for the next crop. So he mulched that, and then the following week when we went in to do our crop monitoring in the lettuce, we got a huge influx of the large adults that were mobile, of the lacewings in particular, moved into the lettuce. We
have provided a home, you know, we've looked after these predators and we've given them food with all the flowering species that we have on farm here now. And we had a lot of the predators come in and get rid of the aphids. So we actually didn't put an aphicide spray on that crop. It's getting away from this, oh, let's just hop on the sprayer and just spray, you know, it's easy to do that. And if we don't change our practices, we're going to have resistance and not many chemicals to use.
It's really good having a grower with Howe who's actually being able to help us do those sorts of things, and that's a large part in why we actually have success in projects like this, because there's a lot of chopping and changing when we're working in this. We can put things in, we can have a look at it, but like we saw with the mulching of the cover crop, sometimes we see things that we're not expecting and then we have to figure out how we're going to incorporate that into our program for the next season. Without the likes of growers like Howe, we wouldn't really be able to do some of this work. If you don't have that openness to trying them, then we can't actually make some of these things move forward in a commercial setting.
You know, most people think any insect is a bad insect, but there are good ones out there that can help you, and it's just a change of mindset. I know it is like time consuming to go out and monitor a crop, but in the long term, I think that's where we're going to be heading anyway.
Yeah.